Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Podcast presented by PointsBet. Use the promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. It's going to be a September 2. Remember, Luke Stuckmeyer, Cody Delmendo, Ryan Herrera getting you ready for the month of September. An off day for the Cubs before they start September. And we got some moves to talk about. We've got some openings to talk about. We're going to play a little game while we're here. We're going to talk about that intro song, Timmy Trumpet.
Yeah, I was about to
Anyways,
I wish I could do the trumpet noise.
Where's Lawrence when we need him? He's the trumpet man. He's supposed to play this song. He needs 20 seconds. So, again, you guys made fun of me when I said I wanted a walk-in song, and Maverick wanted it. He wanted Top Gun every time he came into the studio. You guys thought I was crazy, the Top Gun music, which would be a vibe, would certainly be a vibe. Then the Mets pull out Timmy Trumpet, Australian musician, to play his song for Mr. Diaz coming in from the bullpen. And I thought, man, look at that. He's gone viral, and all we had to do was get me some music, and we could have had it. Well, could have had it. You guys thought I was kidding. I said, the whole vibe of the show changes with an intro music.
Should we
walk-in songs.
Should we look for a new intro song?
Hold on, Lawrence. We're going to walk into the set. You play your thing into the music, and we'll walk in as if we're walking into the show.
We're all doing this?
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
Well, no, I can do it, but whatever.
No, let's all do it. Actually, no, I gotta watch. I want to watch.
I'll do it.
I'm going to sit back and just watch this happen.
Can I walk in with stuff?
Yeah.
You guys ready?
Yeah, we're ready to start the show now. You see this on YouTube.
Oh, my God. What? You can't be... Oh, my...
I'm just doing my
Edwin
thing.
Diaz
thank
does
you.
this so much.
Huh?
Yeah,
Tell me that's not a vibe.
Edwin Diaz has so much more
of a
swag.
vibe doing that.
Tell me that's not a vibe.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Rachel says, "What a moment to drop into the stream."
Well, thanks for dropping in, Ray.
Clip it,
Crazy
put it on the
Americans.
internet, Casey.
Oh
Thanks.
my God, that was Edwin Diaz does it better. I'll tell you, but I appreciate you guys doing that for the show, for the content. We're called content creators.
We're just
Woo!
built
That was
different over here.
I gotta tell you, I'm
Stucky's
winded from
tired.
that.
All his energy is gone.
Hey,
He's done for the
throwback.
day.
Shane asked where he should send the John Deere hats to. Trade for CHGO gear.
I guess I'll have to find him an address for here.
Yeah, but
Shane, I'm gonna look into it.
tell him to DM you on Twitter.
Yeah, I'll
Tell him that.
DM me on Twitter.
There you go. There it is.
Huh?
That's
What a
no-
vibe that would be after every Cubs win. Instead of Go Cubs Go, we came into that.
I mean, it's like we were talking about it earlier, Luke. Obviously, Mariano Rivera, and Trevor Hoffman have the iconic
Legendary, yeah.
walk-ins. I mean, Wild Thing Vaughn, if you want to talk fictional baseball, is awesome. Edwin Diaz is like I don't know if anyone besides Trevor Hoffman and Mo beat Edwin Diaz's entrance.
That'd have been cool for Carlos Marmol back in the day.
Oh man, the Timmy Trumpet thing is awesome. Yesterday,
it was good,
but just even by itself, the entrance is awesome.
Now, do you guys know the sexy saxophone guy?
I do not know.
I think the song is
actually.
"Careless Whisper," maybe from the '80s.
Yeah, okay, I didn't know that.
And he'll show up and just play it at a mall. Anyways, that's what I would like. That's another possibility you could have for me. But they're saying Estrada could be a closer. What if it's Cody Hoerner? You better start coming up with something for one of these guys because Go Cubs Go is a nice. It's something that other teams don't have. It is something that's cool after the game.
Well,
and after a big win, it is a lot of fun to sing with the entire crowd. But I'm looking for something in game.
Yeah.
In game to vibe up the Cubs.
I did like when Kimbrel came in to Sweet Child of Mine.
Yeah, that was cool. I mean,
you're right.
Robertson had Sweet Home Alabama, I'm pretty sure. If I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, Sweet Home Alabama, which is cool, but it's not theatrical. Edwin Diaz is theatrical.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool.
That is.
Like you need something like that. Like if they played the
He
Undertaker's
definitely-
theme song.
I feel like he purposely walks slower to the mound because of it.
Yeah. See, we
And
did the
because he
opposite. We gave
shoves-
high energy coming in.
Right.
Yeah.
And
But-
because he shoves, he gets away with it, which is fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is like when the Wild Thing Vaughn, like that. Obviously, that's theatrical. It's a movie.
Right,
But
yeah.
that was super cool. If anyone actually did that in real life, like that'd be sick.
Well, Kenny Powers used to walk in with fireworks and American flag.
That's fair.
That's true.
Kenny Powers.
And then
That's a
throw
vibe.
down.
That's a
So-
vibe right there.
That guy
Kenny
is
Powers.
a vibe.
I mean, that's pretty much what they're kind of doing. It's like, I don't know. I don't even feel like the walk-up songs for hitters are as good as they used to be.
I also just
Rizzo's
think
was
walk-up
good.
songs.
Rizzo's, remember, he stole the one from Starlin Castro, and that kind of got people,
Yeah,
that kind
like
of got
the
the
clap.
crowd going every
Yeah,
once in
yeah.
a while.
That one, okay.
Yeah,
I just also think like walk-up songs for hitters, just there's not enough time for it.
Yeah,
Like,
that
whereas
at
a
least got
closer-
people to clap along. Like,
Yeah.
it's got to be something that people can interact
Yeah.
with.
I see on social media all the time in our mentions whenever like we tweet something about Rizzo. There's always at least one comment that's like, "Man, I miss his walk-up song so much," because the entire crowd would just do the clap. You know what I mean? So
About
it
Mr.
was
Brightside.
something. I think people really loved that.
What about Mr. Brightside? Someone just had Mr. Brightside
Ooh.
as an entrance song. I would go crazy.
You play Mr. Brightside and I'm 12 beers deep at Wrigley Field, then you'll see a vibe.
I'll be completely sober in the press box, and I'll still be vibing. I still vibe to that song when it plays just randomly in between innings.
What about Kelly Clarkson since you've been gone? You been to that too, Cody?
I can't say I ever
Ryan?
vibe. I can't say I ever vibe.
You wouldn't
to
vibe that
song.
as much as Mr.
I
Brightside?
can't say I've
No,
ever
not.
vibed. I can't say I won't in the future, but I don't think I've
For
ever
Whom the
vibed.
Bell Tolls, Metallica would be good.
Yeah.
It's a slow build.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said the Undertaker's theme song. The
What about
wrestler would be-
You
like-
Shook Me All Night Long by AC/DC?
That would be good.
Yeah.
All right. How about this? The chat throws in just as many.
Chat's got some,
Or
recommendations
got
as
some
you
good
want.
ideas.
Stucky, me and
As many
Stucky
as you
are,
want.
we handshake with this one. We talked about this on the previous show. Little Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi.
Oh, we did talk about that.
yeah,
for a
Bon
long
Jovi would be legit coming
That was
in.
the Field of Dreams game. With the talking about Ryan and Kevin.
Have a nice
right
have
on.
a nice day. Bon Jovi would be a good one.
Ooh, there you go. There you
I
go.
heard. I don't remember where I saw it. Bohemian Rhapsody. I like.
Yeah?
I want like that would definitely get the fans to interact. I don't know if it would get them hype. Like I don't know. Maybe I get hype when I hear it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know.
Now I'm just
It is
going to
an
start
early show
listening to
today.
songs that way and figure out what might work and who it would work for. Like Nico's had a good enough season that he needs a theme song now. You know?
A theme song, a Nico theme song.
And Morel is a vibe. Like that guy needs a song that everybody knows is the Morel song.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll get.
Anyways,
there.
just
We'll
it's
get there.
something to think about. We do have a few roster moves. Everybody's been waiting for the call-ups. Soldier Boy, Rachel
I feel
says
great.
yeah.
I
Crank
feel
that
great
song.
I mean,
about
that was
it.
Devin Hester,
Debbie.
Soldier Boy.
Yeah. And yes, I do feel great about Pitt still.
We'll talk
Minus
about
7.5.
We'll talk about that in the first ad read.
And, you know, everybody's been excited, waiting for these September 1st moves, and there it is.
Oh.
Bodie returns from Iowa. No?
Oh my God! We have 31 games left.
Wade Miley
Just
transferred to the
fast
60-day IL. Estrada and Little go back to Iowa, but then Estrada selected from Iowa.
Yeah.
So procedural move there. He stays. And, yeah, maybe he's the guy. Boy, I know that Pitch Doctor's awfully excited about this guy.
Man,
The pitch doctor.
he might be the most excited.
Yeah, I mean his. I remember seeing him on Twitter after the game on Tuesday. He's like, I can't wait for the data to come out tomorrow. I'm like, I can't wait for you to tell me what the data says because I can't read it myself.
Would you reply to one of his tweets and you're like, explain this to me like I'm 5?
I think Greg Zumach tweeted a gift back and he's like, it's really good. I'm like, thank you.
Nearing 9 games versus the Reds. September baseball. So lit.
Hell yeah, baby. The March for 63 is going to be
right.
met this month.
Also, Joel Martinez said the music from The Dark Knight and Let the Grounds go crazy. I'm for it.
Yeah,
you guys know
hell
me in
yeah.
The Dark Knight.
That's another movie we've talked about on here, and Stucky slandered.
I didn't slam. I liked it.
No, you
He's
did.
calling it the greatest movie of all
It
time.
is one of the
It
greatest,
is the greatest movie
movies
ever.
ever. Yes, I'm with Ryan on that.
Um,
Forever, we will not. There will be no other conversation or slander.
Rosebud. You can't handle it.
Who can handle it?
Justice.
Anyway,
I am justice.
so with these moves, they're all procedural. like all like
Right,
Wade
yeah.
Miley opening a 40-man spot.
Nothing super exciting.
Yeah, I mean the reinstating. I mean it was like those two, Little and Estrada, had to go back down to reinstate the guys on the restricted list. But then the two open roster spots, obviously Estrada fills one, and then Bodie fills another. Yeah, I think we kind of all we said it earlier in the week that Estrada's probably a guy that could stick around when the rosters expand, especially after that his debut the other day. Like he was really impressive. Obviously, it's a 1-inning major league debut, but you definitely want as a guy that had so much success this year that it was like, okay, let's put him on the 40. Bring him up September, give him a good run, see what he could do. From what we've seen from like what Brennan's talked about, like he has kind of the makings of a high leverage, if not a high leverage reliever, if not the closer for this team. Which the Cubs really haven't had like a closer, a high leverage or closer prospect.
Oh right, yeah,
like,
that's true.
Well, who would have been the last one? Like even Marmol came up as a starter. I don't think they've really had like a closer prospect
I would
with the potential for that.
I would say Marmol. Like that's probably the guy. Like once they converted him
once they convert, but I'm saying like even the guy that like was closer potential in the minors. I don't know.
Couldn't tell you.
I couldn't tell you who the last one was. But that's
pretty good.
So I like the keeping Estrada up.
Hector Rondon was like a Rule 5 guy they picked up. So they
Yeah.
didn't fully homegrown, but he did come through the Cubs
That's
system.
true.
But he was the closer in 15.
What was Strope?
So-
Was he?
He was
Strope
part
was
of
the trade with Arrieta.
Okay, yeah,
so
you're right,
like
you're
he technically
And
wasn't
just not
homegrown.
like you're not talking about
didn't
even
draft
Rendon.
him.
Like you're not talking about like a top. You're not talking about Hader or Hoffman or
no.
Rivera.
Yeah.
Well, I know what you're talking about, Rivera, but like a guy where the other team is terrified when the other guy's coming into the game.
Oh yeah.
That's when you get the walk-in call. That's when you get the song when the other team's like, oh man, it's over. They're bringing in so and so.
Yeah.
Which is a fun part of a game for a baseball fan. Your team's leading, and that guy comes in, and you feel like it's lights out.
That's how we felt last year in the first half, right? About Kimbrel.
Yeah,
He was that good.
that's true.
Yeah, no, he.
We felt like that when Chapman came in, I feel like, in the second half of 16.
Yeah, when you
Yeah,
have
you
a
wanna say
closer
Carl
that
Edwards?
you know you can come in and is going to shut things down. Like that's
Edwards wasn't a closer, but, I mean.
no.
No, but they always thought he was going to be the closer, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
all along, a lot of people were like, nah, he's the closer of the future. Even in 16, they were like, Carl Edwards might be the closer of the future. It just fell
He was
apart.
young, and they didn't use him a lot in
Yeah.
16. But 17 and
Throw
18, they
strikes.
really tried to
Get his innings up.
start. They tried to.
No, I think like I don't know if Estrada will be the closer. Like he has stuff that could translate well to being a closer, and maybe he has that potential. But when you have a guy like Chapman or Kimbrel, or obviously those guys are way more proven as closers, shutdown closers. I think like even in this day and age, like I don't know if people forget how important like a good closer is, or maybe just they're more undervalued in this day and age than they have been in the past. Like that's a huge spot. If you have a guy that can go in the ninth inning and shut everyone down, like how Robertson was the most of this season, then you don't have to worry about that, and you can kind of worry about filling out the rest of the bullpen and trying to figure that stuff out. Like I think a guy in the ninth inning closer is still just as important as it's ever been, as much as we don't talk about it. But
I think that he is, at the very least, high leverage back end guy. But I like the pairing of him, Manny Rodriguez, Cody Hoyer, Brandon Hughes, and whoever else. But I like those ones I just said, and we don't know when Cody Hoyer will be back. But like the first three, or I guess with Hughes, Rodriguez, Estrada, I'm feeling really good about those guys going into next year. And then again, you know how the Cubs will go pick up some guys,
Some sidearm guy.
yeah,
like that will be very, very cheap, and they won't have to invest all their money in their bullpen on top of whoever else they're going to develop, because this year has been a great example of them being able to develop guys out of the bullpen through their own system. So, I think they're very, 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 very set on it. I know that like the bullpen itself hasn't performed well of late, but it's the future is bright. So Estrada is, man, he looked so good the other night. I tweeted out, in the ninth, or going into the bottom of the ninth inning last night, when I saw that Wick was coming in, I tweeted out, I was like, man, would have liked to see Estrada here just to see how he would have done on the road here, you know, in a save spot, just to see how it would have gone. Yeah. And they brought Wick in instead. I know that Estrada has injury history, so maybe they're, you know, not trying to push it. You know, we're in a lost season, doesn't matter. So whatever, but I hope that he gets a save chance at some point in September, because right now I'm with Brendan in terms of this is the filthiest guy out of the bullpen that the Cubs have ever called up that they developed themselves. I've never seen anything better than in that one inning from a guy that they developed themselves that could just go out there and simply say, see ball, try and hit it. And the Blue Jays, a really good offensive team, not able to do that.
I will say it was nice to see Rowick get the chance to pitch in Canada. Obviously, he's Canadian. Like, that's a good thing. But I also know that it's like this is a time to also push guys like Rowick, who has had his roller coaster up and down season this year, push him to bounce back from a couple bad outings like that. Yeah. That's even if he's not your closer next year, like this year, again, it's about the development and showing what guys can do.
It's weird how Wick, I feel like, has done actually really well in save spots. Like a ninth inning up a run or two, he's actually done well in those. It's those middle relief innings where the Cubs need, you know, him to just either keep it within a run or two if we're losing, or if we're up a run or two, and he gives up the go-ahead 3-run shot. But whenever you put him in the save spot, it feels like he's just really excelled in that role. I thought like in 2020 and 2019, he was really good as like a setup 7th or 8th inning guy, come in, clean inning, and just shove it down your throats. And then last year he was hurt for half the year until he came back and, you know, was coming back from that. This year it's just been a roller coaster. So I don't know where he sits in terms of next year. I think he'll be here, but as far as like what his role will be, like, I just don't know. And I don't think whatever happens the rest of this month is going to tell us if he should be the closer going into 2023.
Yeah, in the chat reminding us too, you know, Ethan Roberts eventually when he comes back has the glasses. He's got a little vibe
wicked
to him.
Slider.
Yeah. I know. I remember. I don't know the timeline for Roberts or if there is one yet. I know. I talked to Cody Hoerner a little while back, and that was like, I think he mentioned like June or July is like what they're shooting for as far as like being back to pitching in a big league game. So there's also a lot of like guys that are still on the mend that could potentially be in those roles. So,
and then I've read some things recently, at least on social media, about how maybe the Cubs are going to use like Cam Sanders, for example, and then Hayden Wesneski. Maybe they use those guys as bullpen arms, because they used Wesneski the other night out of the bullpen in Iowa.
Yeah, did really well.
And he did really well. And 5 innings, like, right? maybe
because that's how Steele and
because that's how Steele and Thompson did it on their way up. So maybe the Cubs are going to start using them as that type. Which, if that's the case, then they definitely need to get maybe 2 arms in free agency to be in that rotation instead of 1. And I'm totally fine with it, because the Cubs have shown success with guys doing that, and it makes them better as their careers go along, as we've seen this year with Steele and Thompson. So I'm interested to see how that plays out, and it will tell us more about what they'll do in free agency. But, I mean, I'm not really worried about these other relievers.
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say I like the discourse around Wesneski right now, coming out of the bullpen, because we saw it be successful with Steele and Thompson last year. I know Ross has addressed it maybe last week or the week before that, just about guys like Hayden Wesneski maybe coming up in a similar path, and Ross doesn't want to like put the expectation that he's going to be coming up and as a bullpen guy long inning, but it's like it's more of the point where it's like obviously it's been successful, but you also don't like it can work both ways. Like some guys it may not be successful for, and you want to keep him as on a starter routine or something like that. Whereas guys can end up being like Justin Steele and Keegan Thompson. They come up, they do well in the bullpen, they go back down, stretch back out, and then come up as starters like they should be. So, if I'm like just kind of reading the tea leaves here, Wisniewski's coming out of the bullpen. We got a month left in the season. It's probably a point where you see him coming out as a multi-inning guy towards the end of the season. If when he comes up this season, as I think we kind of all expect it to happen, like a bullpen guy. But then you go into next year, that's maybe a guy that's competing for a rotation spot in spring training. So I think it's a good path just because you've seen it be successful, and you got time. You got the time to kind of let that play out.
I like Sean's comment. He says Kimbrel is the Cubs' missing piece for next year, and I know a lot of people might just like laugh at that, but I like the idea of it in terms of he's struggled with the Dodgers this year, so it's not like you're gonna have to pay him $15 million for him to come back, and it showed that Tommy Hotovy and Daniel Moscos like really fixed him after he came over from Boston. I know it was a rocky road at the beginning, but like the first half of last year and the very end of 2020, I thought he was like the classic Hall of Fame Craig Kimbrel type. He'd be one of those guys kind of like what David Robertson was this year, except on it. I think the Cubs can be a competitive team next year, you get him on top of what you already got. He can be a good veteran for some of those relievers in the bullpen, and you get him on the cheap because, again, he hasn't been exactly great for the Dodgers. Not like you're not going to have to pay for this guy. And maybe, just maybe, Hotovy and company can get him back to how he was pitching with the Cubs.
Yeah.
Jack says Edwin Diaz is going to be a free agent.
I'm good.
Jimmy Trumpet right here.
I'm good.
You're good.
I'm good. I don't want the Cubs to invest money on bullpen guys, like large amounts of money.
I'm with that too.
That guy's going to demand a lot of money.
I get that.
I'm good.
I get that.
Yeah, I like him.
It's
as
not
a
that I
player.
don't think he's
like
good.
Spending a ton of money on a closer.
It's not that I don't think he's good. I would rather the Cubs invest lots of money on starting pitching and an infielder.
How's it going, Jordo?
Jordo,
thanks for
what's up?
hopping in.
Thanks
What's
for
up,
joining.
Jordo?
So first 500 month, August. This is something we celebrate now as Cubs fans. 500 in a month for the first time since May of 2021. We want to focus now on September. So this next segment is going to be a segment I like to call, this is what I'd like to see. This is what I want to see. So think about that for a second. We're going to do some business here. Cody's going to tell us about PointsBet. This is what we'd like to see. We're going to talk about that in the second segment. What you want to see, individual things you want to see in September at a Cubs game. Right,
Outside of this, I'd love to see Purdue win outright tonight. And I'd love to see Pittsburgh win by 8 or more. That's what I'd love to see tonight. College football is back officially. I don't count week 0. It is week 1, Thursday night, college football. My arm hair is standing straight up, folks. We are finally back. We have been like suffering without football for months, and we are finally back. It's a beautiful thing. I made all my bets that I just told you on PointsBet. PointsBet Sportsbook is counting down the days until the football season with a new offer every day until the season kicks off. From now until September 8th, PointsBet Power Hour will unlock a new daily offer from 12 to 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. I think today you got a free bet to place on college football, actually. Made that bet myself, too. Sign up for PointsBet now using code CHGO to also get risk-free bets up to $2,000. Don't miss out on your chance to get daily access to free bets, boosted odds, and so much more now through September 8th. But that's not it. If you make a 51 or more first-time deposit, you receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content. You even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. Download the PointsBet app today and use code CHGO to take advantage of this limited-time offer. Don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. If you're someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER for crisis counseling and referral services.
Our next partner is a product I use literally every day. Started taking AG1 because I didn't have time, wanted better gut health, more energy, optimized immune system, and now I've been on it for 6 months. I love it. It doesn't taste super healthy. Instead, it's mild, kind of tropical, and it is healthy, so I look forward to taking it every morning. What is it? 1 scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to start your day right. a special blend of ingredients supporting your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, aging, all those things. I get a noticeable boost of energy, so I start taking it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. It's like Timmy Trumpet is playing the trumpet right in my living room after I take that AG1. Boom, there I go. Lifestyle friendly, whether it's keto, paleo, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, you're all good with AG1 investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance for less than $3 a day. It's also recommended by professional athletes, has more than 7,000 five-star reviews, and right now it's time to reclaim your health, arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. One scoop, that's it. One scoop in a cup of water. No need for a million different pills. To make it easy, AG1 and Athletic Greens will give you a free one-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D, 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/CHGO Cubs. Again, athleticgreens.com/CHGO Cubs to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. All right, you ready? What I want to see in September out of the Cubs. By the way, I just saw that Jeff Passan was on, I think, another podcast or on the radio somewhere and was saying that Diaz could be the first $100 million reliever.
Oh, my God.
So with that said, Cody, I would agree 100%.
I agree on that.
Cubs take a pass on that.
Just go
gonna
get
be a no
Shohei
for me,
Ohtani
dog.
for $200 million.
Absolutely.
So why don't we just go through them just kind of down the line? Whatever pops in your head, something you want to see. I will start negative. Okay? Because we had those call-ups.
Because you are the, what would we call you? The DOB?
The DOB, Director of Buzzkill.
Yeah.
Director of Buzzkill.
The Dob.
I'm the Dob.
He's the Dob.
As the Dob and Director of Buzzkill, what I want to see in September is, unfortunately for him, David Bodie not play in September. I know they just called him up. I don't need to see it. Like, I know what David Bodie is. I know what David Bodie's value is. I don't need to see Bodie. I don't need to see Ortega. There's guys I don't need to see. Rivas, I know what I have there. This month is about evaluation for the future.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying David Bodie can't be on your roster. I'm not saying he's not a nice guy. I like him. I don't need to see him play in games in September. I want to evaluate younger guys.
Yeah.
If he is playing over Nick Madrigal at second base every other day or whatever, I'm going to explode.
More than twice.
Yes.
If he does it more than twice in September, something's wrong.
Nice speaking my language, Cody.
I will be going on a rant on this podcast if he is playing more than Nick Madrigal, because Nick Madrigal just had his, I think, Ryan, you said the other day, you can argue that his best month of his career.
It was a great month.
It was a great month.
I didn't look at like all the months in his career, but
anyway.
That leads me into my next one. I was gonna say, like, I want to see Nick Madrigal obviously play, but I want to see him have another really good month. As good as August, cool. Better than August, awesome. I obviously want it to be better than August, because August was still good though. So if he has a month like August, like that shows you something. But you want to see Nick Madrigal have a month more like August versus April, May, and then the part of June that he was healthy. Like that's. You need to have him finish strong so that you go in, again, we go in the off season, that you feel like you can depend on him to be a serviceable, productive, like a guy you can trust to throw there at second base every day and kind of let him rise or fall. Like that, you want him to just have a good month September plus like the first week of October to end this season, so you're not worrying about, like, obviously the shortstop thing is, the free agent shortstop, that's one thing. But you don't have to worry about, like, making sure you bring one in at all costs if Nick Madrigal does well this month. Like that's what I want to see in September is a good month from Nick Madrigal.
That's a real good one. Like, that's got to be high on the list for what the Cubs want to see too, because not only is it you want to see him do it at least for 2 months and finish the season strong, whether he's a part of your future or he's a part of a package to try and get Shohei Ohtani, dream, right? Then either way, it's good for the Cubs if he has another, like a bang-up month. Where are we at on the Hoerner Madrigal over that we picked for 11 home runs on the season?
Is Nico at like 8 or 9
He's
right
at
now?
8, I thought.
And it was
so
10.5.
I feel like one thing you might want to tack on as an asterisk to yours is, one Madrigal home run before the season is over, just to help us
That'd be
get
We need the
closer
wind
to that.
blowing out at Wrigley
Yeah,
and him to get the ball up.
But he's got to help Nico out. He's got to
hit
at
two
least
last
just
year with the White Sox. Like,
see. That's
he
what I'm
could do
saying.
it.
Get it up in the wind
He
at
could
Wrigley
do
on
it.
one. Maybe we still have a couple 90-degree days left here. Get some hot weather against the Cardinals.
Yeah. Nico's
a
at-
pop up that goes out.
Nico's at 8 right now, so they need 3 more in September combined.
He could do it.
I think they can do
Didn't
it.
he just miss in Toronto the other day? Or no, he hit one out.
Nico
Yeah,
hit one out in Toronto.
Yeah.
into the
There
corner.
was another one I thought he just missed or something.
Fam guy 218 in the chat on YouTube. This is not something you need to worry about. He says super hypothetical.
No.
Absolutely. I don't want to let Madrigal block getting Bogarts. It will not. Like
Absolutely not.
there's no chance.
Should not. No, should not.
And that's what we talked about all year. It's like even Nico shouldn't stop you from going out
No.
and getting Carlos Correa or Xander Bogaerts or whoever it is just because Nico's done really well at shortstop. Like you always want to have the best players you can and then figure out how they fit together after that. Like that's what we're all like kind of saying. I think we've all agreed on that for like months. It's like go get who you want to get and figure out how they fit later.
Yeah. My thing that I want to see the most, the rest in September is I want to continue to see Seiya Suzuki play like he has in Toronto. He's been having the classic rookie season where he's red hot, and then he's ice cold, and then he's red hot, and then he's ice cold, and then he's red hot, and he's ice cold. He was ice cold for a little bit there in August, and then finished the month strong. Now I kind of just want to see some consistency this last month. That way we can feel really good about him going into 2023. There were comparisons of Kosuke Fukudome at one point for this guy. Nothing against Kosuke. That guy had one of the greatest opening day performances in Cubs history. Never forget. But yes, he was a massive disappointment in terms of a free agent signing from Japan. That was literally over a decade ago, though. And Seiya, he is a completely different player from Kosuke Fukudome, in my opinion. So I just want to see him continue to not only progress, but maybe show a little bit more consistency at the plate, and just finish the season strong, because I think that his ceiling is we still haven't got there. And if you feel good about him going to 2023, that really does change the outlook about this Cubs team. Like, I think that if he didn't get hurt and if he wasn't a rookie, and you got what you were getting in Japan from this guy, or like at least half of what we got, or what he did in Japan, then I think he would have carried the Cubs to a few more victories at least this year. So
I think, you want to see that, but there's also like, there's a reason that half the league was in on him when he got posted. Like there's a very, very good player in there, and having a good September or just to finish the season is like, again, just gives you confidence that that guy is there and can play at a high level in Major League Baseball.
I would say in terms of the home runs, he's been a disappointment this year. But
I still think that could come as he gets more used to the pitching at the Major League level. Like, the more familiar he gets with those pitchers, I think there's a possibility that could.
And I think he's going to be here either way. Like, if he's part of a package for Ohtani, okay.
I think there's a no-trade clause.
But there's no trade clause?
I'm
okay.
pretty sure.
He's going to be here anyway. But, like, I don't know. I think that the Cubs need to see him start to, emerge or something. Just a little bit more consistency, because he's had really good games. He's also had really bad games. And I don't know. I know a lot of people are in and out on his defense, too. He's had some nice defensive plays. He's also had some blunders. Like, this guy was patented as a elite defensive outfielder in Japan and, hitting over 30 bombs over there. Like, I don't even think we've gotten half the production that he did in Japan this year. And, like, again, that's not to put anything against him. He's a rookie, and, like, you've never seen anyone over here. He's adjusting. He got hurt. Yeah, like, I'm not putting anything against him. I'm just saying, like, I would just like to see more consistency from him of the all-around game that he brings.
Yeah. And remember, like, Carl Tuffy Rhodes and Matt Merton were home run kings in Japan. So, like, it's a different level of baseball. So I don't know if I expected it to fully transfer to the Major League level, but the way he started was so promising. I agree. Like, let's send that arc going up into the offseason again. Yeah. Kind of rebuilding that. And he's been better the last couple games.
And it's always the approach that kind of gives you that confidence.
Yeah.
It's like, he's never going to chase bad pitches. He's not gonna just press or do too much as a play. Like he has a good approach that will translate once he's better adjusted to just the pitching in general.
I like how the last few games he's been going oppo a lot. Yeah. Whether it's like
Spray
bloop singles to right field, or if they're actually hard hit balls like he had last night. Like he has been purposely been trying to take the ball the other way, and that's when you know a guy that was struggling and is trying to fix that. When they start going the other way, that's when you know they're trying to adjust and get pitchers to have to figure out how to beat them again. So eventually, we'll probably see him start pulling some more because pitcher, things, that's just how baseball works. But the series in Toronto, that's what a lot of his hits were to the opposite field. And that's one thing that when the core was here, we talked about all the time about how, like, those guys, like, they won, they earned the right to, be coached up by whoever, like Chris Bryant, be coached up by his dad, whatever. Like, they earned the right to, I guess, just have the benefit of the doubt to just do hitting the way they want to do hitting. But, man, there were times where it just felt like, man, why can't these guys just, not strike out as much or try and take the ball the other way and stuff like it was little things like that like towards the end of that era where you felt like that's what the Cubs really needed. And that's some of the, like, if there's any positive that we've seen over the course of the season is from players like Seiya and Ian Happ and Nico. And even Madrigal the last month and like other players too. They're all like, they're not just pulling the ball, they're taking the ball at all fields.
Yeah, Reyes has done that.
It's always
too.
A good sign for any
it's
hitter.
always a good sign. And I know the shift's going to be gone next year, but like, man, like if you would have had a little bit more of that from the core, the old core, maybe things go a little bit differently. Because at the end of the day, they won one World Series and they should have won more. And one of the reasons that they couldn't was because that offense just could not carry that team enough for a full year. And it was just because they never wanted to adjust, it felt like, to, whatever it was, taking the ball the other way or, trying to change your approach a little bit to walk a little bit more if your name is Javi Baez or, stuff like that. It was little things. They were still great and they were still like legends in this city forever. I'm forever thankful. But towards the end, it was like little things like that. And so, like, that's one thing that I have. It's been nice to see where guys are hitting the ball all fields.
Yeah. Here's another thing I want to see in September, and it's a pretty simple ask, I think. I do want to see Brendan Davis in a Cubs uniform at Wrigley Field. Like, I'm to the point now, okay, he had the back surgery. I didn't think it was possible.
Yeah.
But if he can play in South Bend and if he can play in Iowa and he hit a home run in his first game back, give me some Brendan Davis. Give us a little taste to carry us over into the offseason. Give us just, if there's a whole chocolate chip coffee cake, just give us a little bit of a corner of it just to give that little sweet taste as we head into the offseason. I want to see a guy that was their top prospect, is still their number 2 prospect, and if it weren't for the injury, would probably still be their number 1 prospect. Like, I want to see this guy so I know he's my guy in center field next year.
Yeah.
That's what I really want to see him get to Wrigley Field, have a couple of good games, build some confidence in the fan base, build some in him, and let's go. Let's ride into the offseason after a nice September. It doesn't have to be the whole month, but I want to see him there, and I want to see him get to play at Wrigley Field, just so we can get some sort of taste of the future. Other guys have been fun. It's been fun to watch Morel, right? It's been fun to watch Nico Hoerner. But Brendan Davis is the future when you talk about that first wave of real big prospects that they have.
He's the
Morel was not a big prospect.
Right. Davis is kind of like what Anthony Rizzo was.
Yes.
If you want to compare the last 2 rebuilds. Like, Rizzo was the first one to come. And,
So give us our Rizzo at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Give us Brendan Davis to start things off. That's all I'm asking for.
Sometimes I wonder, like, if they send him to the Arizona Fall League, if that affects him making his major league. Like, do they just want to keep him at AAA?
I think it's less likely if he's in the Fall League.
Yeah, if they want to keep him at AAA, let him just hang out there and then go to the Fall League and kind of make sure he comes in next year, spring training, potentially competing for a spot on the big league roster, fully, like, like he didn't come up and struggled, or he didn't come up and whatever. Like he was able to come up fully healthy on his terms and go from there. I mean, I don't know if that's the route it takes, but I'm like, just considering the fact that he will be playing in the Arizona Fall League, like I think the AAA season ends like 10 days before the Major League season. Maybe not even like 7 days. So they can maybe just be like, okay, he's only going to miss a week. Like, just let him get a little bit of a break and then go to the Fall League. I don't know if that's true.
I don't think it's super likely that he's called up, but it's something I want to see.
Yeah, I don't think it's likely either. But, yeah, I think one thing that would be more likely, and I also don't think it will happen, is that Matt Mervis gets the call. Like he's been, you put his numbers next to 2014 Chris Bryant, and you're like, we got ourselves an absolute stud that we didn't even draft. Like, I would absolutely love to see Matt Mervis at first base sometime here in September, but I don't think we will.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But, man, do him and Brennan Davis give us some optimism for 2023, though. I'm telling you, once the season ends, I'm going to be happy it's over. But then I'm like, give me a month, and I'll be like, man, I'm ready for baseball season. Because all I'll be thinking about is Brennan Davis in center field and Mash Mervis at first base hitting bombs onto Sheffield. Ugh.
What I want to see in September is Alzolay. I want to see Albert Alzolay, obviously get healthy. He's on his rehab assignment right now. Come up. He's not going to be in the rotation. As far as what I've talked to with Tommy Hotovy, it's more likely going to be a bullpen, maybe piggyback type role where you could pitch those multiple inning kind of stuff. That's just, I think, where he's at and how much time he's missed, and he's still kind of building himself up. That like trying to throw him out as a starter probably isn't, especially considering they have so many guys in the rotation now anyway. Probably isn't in the cards for this year. I know they're not ruling him out as a starter in the future, but just probably for this year, it's like it's going to be a multi-inning weapon kind of thing, and just even letting him like that. Last year when he went to the bullpen, Steele had 5 innings, and he had 4 in Minnesota where they gave up like 1 hit each. It was that. You remember that game? It was maybe end of August, early September, but there was a game Steele had 5 innings as a starter. Alzolay came back out for the last 4, got the 4-inning save. And it was like 2-3 hits maybe combined. That could be a potential role for him as well, which wouldn't be bad. But I just want to see him come up, be healthy.
Yeah, Alzolay, I keep forgetting about him, honestly.
Yeah, I want him to come up, look healthy, look good, look like he's been able to work on some things as with all this time off, and just be able to finish the season healthy so he can go into the off season ready to just kind of attack whatever his program is. Like that's what I want to see. Come up, look good, look healthy, so you can go into the next 6 months or whatever it is after, ready to go for spring training.
I went on a little bit of a love fest for Mash Mervis, and I think part of it is because our friend Greg Huss tweeted something about him today, this morning actually. I retweeted it from the CHGO Cubs account. So his K rate at the beginning, like at South Bend, was 24%. Then at AA was 20%. And then since he's been in AAA, it's at 13.7%. And then his walk rate at South Bend was 4.6%. At AA was 8.7%. And at AAA is 9.2%. So he's only gotten better the levels that he's gone up significantly, especially on the K rate there, right? 13.7%, and he's putting up those kinds of numbers. It's he gets me excited, man. He gets me excited. I can't wait for Mash Mervis at Wrigley Field. I can't.
Yeah, that he'll be just the way he's performed and just rising up the minors this season. Like that's another guy you're like probably not this year, but next year there's a lot of season to get him up and see what he could do at the major league level. I think that's looks more like the plan or the goal, but I'm intrigued by how good he's been this year. Strikeouts are down, walks are up, power's up. Like it's just been all over the board.
2 years in the minors. 2 years in the
at
minors.
3 levels. At all 3 levels. It's not like he was great at high A and has been terrible at AAA. Like it's all 3 levels. He's been really, really good.
And the K rate going down the higher he comes up.
Yeah. It's
like,
pretty clear the guy can hit. Like if you're questioning something, don't question that. Like it looks like he he's going to be a guy that will be able to hit. Where it goes from that, I don't know.
We'll see.
Let's see. What else do I want to see in September? I'll tell you what I'd like. Oh, yeah, you still got
Cody
one,
still
Cody.
got a second one. Do you got another one?
You want to do another one?
No.
I just would
I mean, there's
I-
other things, but, you know.
You go right after this.
Okay.
All right.
I'll tell you what I want
about
to
it.
see in September. If they just finally got a 500 record and we're supposed to celebrate that, like they're announcing in the broadcast, like they made it 500 first time since May of 21, thinking that is pathetic. I want to see them not only with a winning record, but like decisively impressive winning record.
Yeah.
I know it might not mean anything. It's like when, Mike Quaddy took over for Lou Piniella and the Cubs played hard for him. They did well, and the next season was a bomb. I know it might not mean much, but I think what it would mean is that some of these young guys are playing well. So I want to see that trend continue. I want to see Nico finish strong. I want to see Madrigal finish strong. I want to see Brandon Hughes finish strong. I want to see Steele and Thompson finish strong if it's the smart thing to do. That's what I would say there. But I want a winning record in the month of September.
I guess my other thing is I want the Cubs to figure out their bullpen situation by the end of the month, because I know it's a work in progress right now, and I know that we know who's probably going to be in the running for a back end rotation type role next year. But I'd rather have a really good idea of it at the end of the year than have to think about it for 4 months and go into spring training and see who out battles each other when it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme in terms of spring training performance. But I feel like that is important for the Cubs because they have so many things to do this offseason. If they know, like, hey, Jeremiah Estrada, he's our eighth inning or closer guy. You know what I mean? Like, and Manny Rodriguez. And if Albert Alzolay can come up and is healthy by the end of the year, like, are we deciding that he's definitely just going to be a reliever? Like, if he is, that's fine with me too. Like, I think, like, I know a lot of people are, like, they love to yell about Wick. They love to yell about Leiter Jr. They love to yell about Michael Rucker. Like, those guys, the last two guys I just said, we've said before, like, they are just guys eating innings. And do we envision them being in high leverage spots on a good Cubs team? I don't think so. I know Leiter Jr. has been okay this month, or it was okay in August.
It's been okay. He's been a lot better as a reliever than when he was starting.
He's definitely been better as a reliever than he is a starter. But with the echelon of arms that they have coming up, there's going to run out of time for him. And maybe not so much Rucker because at least he's younger. But, like, I just would like to know who the Cubs envision as, like, at least, like, their three main back-end guys. And right now, at this moment, you can say Brandon Hughes. Really, that's about it. Manny Rodriguez hasn't even pitched 5 innings yet because he was hurt all year. Would like to see him have a great September and show that, hey, I freaking shove and I'm freaking jacked. Like, you know what I mean? And yeah, see Jeremiah Estrada just to continue to do what he does, you know?
Yeah, so I think it's more, like, I agree. I don't think it's more of, like, I want them, you want to see the Cubs have it, like, figured out. It's just you want to see some of those guys like Manrod or Brandon Hughes, like, really have good. So you're, like, not figuring it out, but you're like, okay, we have these guys that'll be in the bullpen next year.
Yeah.
What's the rest of it?
Like, how many guys do we need?
Just really take a hold of a spot.
Take a hold of a spot, and then you're like, okay, what do we need to do in the offseason? That's what I
because,
I think,
like, I just feel like even over the last few years, even though the bullpen has been better the last few years, you're still going to the offseason before those years, and you're like, what are we doing with this bullpen? Like, and then they managed to just, like, piece it together and they figure it out. And, like, I commend them for that. But I'd also, like, I want to get to the point where the Cubs are just an assembly line of bullpen arms. That way they never have to go and pay for any in free agency. I want the bullpen to just be something that we never have to worry about in terms of trying to fix. I mean, I understand adding 1 or 2 at a deadline if you have a good team, but, like, not something that I really want to be looking at in the offseason. It's definitely something more in season if there's an injury that happens and some of your other guys aren't ready, whatever. I just want that bullpen to get to a level where it's top 10 in the league and it shoves. And we've seen that the last two first halves. Then of course they sold off guys, and that's why we've seen not the best of late. But if they can build a bullpen through their farm system, and if you got to add one or two in free agency, fine. But to see, like those guys I just said, continue to grow, I think you're feeling really good going into 2023 if those guys have a good September.
We good there? Anybody else want to throw anything out they need? I mean,
I feel like there's a lot of things we want to see.
You could go on for an hour. I'll tell you what I really want to see is I want to see the Bears be good enough that we don't think about the Cubs not being in the playoffs. That'd be nice.
Man.
Like a Bears team that's relevant enough, making enough progress that we don't care that the Cubs are not playing fall baseball. That would be nice.
I'm very optimistic Cubs fan, but when it comes to the Chicago Bears, I am as pessimistic
DOB,
as anyone.
Director of Buzzkill.
I am the director of Buzzkill in the Chicago Bears. They love to ruin my Sundays. So the Bears will ruin my Sunday, and I'll be thinking about, man, I can't wait for Mash Mervis.
What the Illini maybe?
At least they limit it to
I got Illini basketball.
At least they limit it to 1 day a week, whereas like this whole season the Cubs have been like Monday, Tuesday.
No. So they ruined my Sunday, and then you know what? I got to think about it all week. Those Bears Mondays after, like the day after the loss, those are the worst days. Those are actually worse than the day that they actually ruined my day.
Right.
It's like a good 24 to 48 hour
that's fair.
Pain.
Yeah, it's like skinning your knee, and the next day you bend your knee. And
and really, then if they play like on a Thursday night or something, you go into and you talk yourself into thinking that maybe they'll cover, or you think that they're going to, they're playing the Commanders this Thursday night. Oh, we could win this game, and then they really shoot you in the foot when they don't live up and play like they should against a team like the Commanders. Then that's when you really start, as someone like me, start thinking about Mash Mervis hitting bombs on Sheffield and Justin Steele shoving it every 5 days, like. This is what it is to be a Chicago Bears fan. You just hate it. You absolutely hate it. You wish you weren't a Bears fan.
Yeah.
That is what it is.
It's a reason why watching Aaron Rodgers lose in the playoffs is like the
that is the Super Bowl.
That's the highlight of every Bears fan season the last 6.
I don't even try to hide it. It is my favorite part about being a Bears fan is watching Aaron Rodgers lose. Yeah. That's it.
Right. Yeah. That's what we hope for. I would like him to show up on those hallucinogens to a game against the Bears this season.
The ayahuasca?
Yeah, the ayahuasca. If you enjoy CHGO, one way to help us continue to grow is to download the PointsBet app and use the code CHGO when you sign up. Not only you get those risk-free bets, 2 risk-free bets, up to $2,000, but if you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, get that free CHGO membership, unlocks all of our web content. Ryan's got a free article out there for you right now about Nick Madrigal. Freebie. Speaking of freebies, free CHGO membership also gets you that free choice from the CHGO locker. Get some free swag. Any questions, email pointsbet@allchgo.com, and we'll help you out in case you missed it. Online sign-up available in Illinois. Download that PointsBet app right now. Register your account start to finish, all from your phone. You're signing up with the fastest sports book, and it's easier than ever. So what are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. I'll tell you what I'd like to see in September. Cody wins some big bets.
Ooh.
And I would like to see me to go from 66% to maybe 77% success rate. Cody's got a couple
want to
locks
bet
for
the
me.
futures. You want to bet the
He's
futures.
got a lock for me on the futures.
Yeah.
You're going to save
Kansas,
that for the bet show?
under
Oh,
2.5. No bet show today. So
throwing it out there.
Kansas under 2.5 total wins for the season.
I like it. I'm gonna ride
at
with you
plus
on that
130 on PointsBet. Oh,
Sarah's
I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm sorry. Your football team sucks. You're a basketball school. You know this.
Yeah, you'll win a lot of basketball games. At least.
I'm well aware we're a basketball school. I was there for 4 years, and I stepped in that stadium once, and that was for my graduation. I'm not kidding. No one goes there for football.
By the way, she didn't run in any basketball players at that graduation.
Because they don't graduate.
They don't make it there.
Yeah, they don't get there. That's fair.
Bill Self.
That went over my head, honestly. I was like,
That's why we had to explain it.
I've been up since like 6 a.m.
7 a.m. for me. I don't usually get up that early. No, I will ride with you on that because even if I lose my money, just not believing in Kansas is something that I enjoy doing at every
Okay.
preseason of everything.
They are
We
a
need to,
terrible
like-
football
I won't
program.
pick them to win March Madness, even though they won this past year, whatever.
Yes, they did.
UNC blew it, man. They had it, but whatever. I won't pick them again next year or the year after that or the year after that. You know why? Because Bill Self wins one every 14 years.
Okay, this isn't. We don't need to talk about this. Like, this is so off topic. I don't want to hear
As an
it.
Yeah,
Illini
let's skip
fan,
it.
I don't like seeing Bill Self
Nobody
win
cares
either,
about
but-
Kansas football at all.
No,
Okay.
under 2.5
Not
wins,
even
man.
Kansas fans care about Kansas football. So let's move on. I will say, Big Dave just walked in a Peyton jersey. You want a vibe?
Ooh,
That's a vibe.
That's a vibe
Sweetness
over there. You know,
34.
coming up on that Bulls podcast. Did you guys see that Theo is selling his Wrigley neighborhood house?
Yeah. Well,
So
Greenview.
you got 3.6 mildo just lying around.
yeah.
Yeah.
Theo's house could be yours.
what if, here's an idea. Is Brandon still here? What if we just make that the CHGO bar?
Oh my God, that is it.
Just renovate it into, look at that. It would
We
just
got to
be-
have 3.6 million lying
the
around.
Right,
The Sox
somewhere.
fans, the
Can
Sox
you
fans
imagine
wouldn't like that.
Can you
but
imagine the bar we could build there? The whole studio.
Oh, yeah.
That's a vibe.
Ryan could live upstairs on the 3rd floor.
I'm in. Down. Yeah, no.
I might come and join.
We're gonna.
There's a pond and a pool.
Yeah, I know.
Pond
Brandon.
would be good for you. I'll take the
I know
pool.
Brandon's looking, so maybe we should just send this to him real quick.
That would be. Look at that place.
Yeah, it's
What do you
gigantic.
get for like
Where is
3 point?
It's on
Where is
Greenview.
that?
Greenview Avenue. It says.
Greenview, it's west of Wrigley.
Okay.
Just
I'm
like a block or two north of Addison, west of Wrigley.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
go.
it looks like
and
he had
try
that
to
built
find it.
probably.
The part I think is funny is the house on the right just looks so tiny
It's like a
compared
little
to
shack,
the
yeah.
to like this giant mansion over here.
yeah.
Joel says
Right.
that's 3 mil. No, that's $3.6 million dollars.
3.6.
Like
yeah.
I will say that it
Chicago
looks.
is expensive. It's not San
Absolutely.
Francisco, but it ain't cheap.
I will say it looks pretty like deep, like long, not like obviously wide.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's
his
how Chicago
neighbors.
houses
Yeah,
are.
his neighbors are still on top of him.
Yeah,
He doesn't have like some big lawn or something where he
Yeah.
can just.
especially not in Wrigleyville.
You know, it's not like Naked
or
Guy. I mean, it's
Lakeview.
same. Theo probably had the same problems Naked Guy has. He wants to go out in, just his shorts that look like he's naked. Every neighbor next door is doing a podcast.
Like,
Probably
huh.
like, there's Theo in his shorts again. Looks like he's naked.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Naked Guy today.
I may have said
Must be
Jed
working.
at some point in this podcast, or at some point when we talk about this. Obviously, it's Theo. I don't know. I think I said Jed earlier, but
You thought it
either
was
way.
Jed's house?
No. I think I said Jed, meaning to say Theo. Anyway,
Well, Jed probably
it's
lived
Theo.
in that house at some point.
Yeah, just hung out.
Theo rented out the basement to
Yeah,
him.
maybe. Yeah.
Jed, you stay down here.
Because it came out a while ago that Theo's moving back to the East Coast, right?
Yeah,
So-
after he went and vibed in left field.
Yeah, and on the basket, like
the
he's just
basket,
laying out
yeah.
there. I'm like, only Theo can get away with that one.
Yeah.
Here's what Niren's got it right. He's like, 3 mil for 8 months of winter. No, it's not that. I'm just gonna say if I had $3.6 million, right, just lying around, I would find a spot a third of the size of that and find me something with a lake view. I don't care how far I have to go.
Yeah.
Like 3.6 million, okay, take me to Evanston, take me to Wilmette, take me to Bannockburn, wherever it is. Just give me a tiny slice view of water.
Yeah.
I just want to. What was Darvish's place in Evanston? He was on the lake.
yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Couldn't build a fence. Like, give me a water view.
As someone who
For
used
4
to
mil.
work,
For
as someone who
3.6
used to
mil.
work on the lakeshore in Evanston and seeing some of the mansions there,
Yeah.
the people who live there, I mean, holy shit! Like that house that we just saw that we saw of Theo, like those people outdo what Theo did with that house. In
I used to do
Wrigley,
work
so.
with my dad, like summers, like in high school and like winters coming back from college, that kind of stuff. And we would always work out in like the Wilmette, that area off the
Yeah.
lake. And I don't remember whose house or what they did for a living, but there's like one. It's like the house is built up the cliff from like the lake, and so they had like a tram. They had a bunch of stairs.
yeah,
I think,
yeah.
and
To
they had a
get
tram that would get
Down the
there.
stairs to the
I'm
beach.
like, man, it's
pretty sick.
That would cost you at least $3.6 million.
Yeah, that would. The tram would be a pretty nice house, I suppose.
You know who should buy Theo's house? The guy that won the lottery. He could buy
Oh
the
no,
swings and the house.
he's getting out of Chicago. As much as we love it, he's gone. He's like Niren saying he ain't sticking around for 8 months of winter. He'll rent out that
He's
house.
going to freaking Hawaii or something.
He'll rent that house out in the summer
Yeah.
You can rent it to me.
when he's not in his Montana ranch.
You should
overlooking
rent it to
everything.
me because
Or
we're
like
pretty close.
rent-
probably
Yeah,
moved to
we're
like
close friends.
Washington.
That's true.
We were
Colorado
close friends with
or
him before he
something.
won the lottery.
We were close. By the way, if anybody out there has been through Arlington Heights near the Buffalo Grove area. On Arlington Heights Road, out of nowhere, just north of, let me think, just south of Buffalo Grove High School, somebody is building a mansion on Arlington Heights Road that looks like it could be the Scarface house. Like, it makes that Theo house look like a shed.
Look
It's that big. It's got to be 20,000 square feet.
Wow.
It's so obnoxiously large. It's got these massive pillars and like
right off Arlington Heights.
right on Arlington Heights Road. And every time I drive by it, I say to myself, why would somebody spend that kind of money to live on Arlington Heights Road? Why wouldn't you put that somewhere else? It's all about location, guys.
Yeah. I just thought
We got off topic.
unrelated a little bit. It actually goes back to what we were talking about earlier. One more thing I'd like to see in September. I'd like to see me and Stucky at Wrigley together for the first time.
There it is.
Oh,
I would like to see what do they call those? Like a watch party somewhere. A little gathering beforehand.
Yeah.
Little outdoor patio somewhere.
Murphy's?
Murphy's
Maybe,
work.
yeah.
Yeah, wherever.
figure that out.
I think that's in the works. We're trying to get there. I'll tell you what. I'll show up. They start playing Timmy Trumpet.
You'll come through the
I'll give the Ricketts my money when they start playing Timmy Trumpet.
No,
when I
Murphy-
walk through the gate.
I was gonna say, you have to have Murphy's, like when he shows up to the thing, Murphy's will have to play that song.
Yeah.
Narco. And, like Luke walks in.
And if they're not going to play it, and they're not going to play it on the PA system, everybody could with us, our group, we could all play it on our cell phones as we walk in and do it as a vibe, all as one.
Yeah.
Just an idea. All right.
We got one question in the Discord.
Okay, what is
I told
it?
people we're doing an off-day show. We have one question, and it's pretty simple. We kind of talked about it before, I guess, but More to Score asks, do Cubs fans or Sox fans have it better this year? Which one has it better?
At this point, I'd say Cubs fans. Maybe
Well-
earlier in the season when they were losing 3 out of 14
Yeah.
or 10-game losing streaks. Like
We're both in third place and both under 500, so what's it matter?
I'd say probably Cubs.
At least
fans.
we had no expectations.
Yeah, no expectations. We got a better
Yeah.
ballpark to go to.
Yeah, and the
They
Sox.
got better food.
Yeah, they have better food. We
have
have the
better
better
food.
view.
I feel like when I come
it's
in
more
here-
historic. where
Their
we go.
disappointment's larger.
I feel like when I do
Yeah,
come
well.
in here, the disappointment from the Sox is like there's a lot of it. And
Yeah.
a lot of like. Not
But
in
also,
shambles
like,
yet.
it's to the point where they don't even get mad anymore. I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, they're not nearly as mad as they were a
not
month
screaming
and a
as
half
much.
or two ago. They're just kind of like, we suck. Like they're scratching out some hope because TLR is out indefinitely, and they're like,
And they're not
now
that far
it's just
out
in
of
time
it.
to get hot.
Yeah.
You know what
They're
I
not
mean?
that far out. Like,
win
and
it
that-
for Tony.
Sarah,
Yeah.
where's Lawrence? Can he play us off when we finish the show? By the way, I need a little Timmy Trumpet.
Yeah, let me grab
Is he
him.
available, or are we not going to be able to do that?
Oh wait, no, he's in the middle of a show right now.
Oh, he doesn't care.
That's all right.
Oh.
Okay.
Lawrence!
Lawrence!
If we can't, no, he's not. He gave us a no. He gave us
That's
a
all right.
thumbs
Yeah,
down.
no, he's-
Our
he's
Timmy
busy.
Trumpet has said no to the playoff song. Can we do a goodbye? 3 seconds. Play us off. Thanks for watching the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by PointsBet. Use that promo code CHGO when you sign up. See you next time.